Okay, let's do this fucking shit.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Inept Pit, episode 43. I'm your host, Drew Campbell. The other fat guy is Evan Sasiela.
What is up?
You're being fat. That's what's probably up right now.
How are we? This is the 43rd episode. I'm still being subjected to fat shaming and insults.
First off, Evan, I do it because I love you. I've honestly been thinking, last time I saw you, when we hung out and I stayed at your house when we recorded the last episode, and I said, the next day I got to see you with your shirt off, and buddy, you're not doing well.
I don't remember my shirt being off.
This is in the morning. You went and sat on the couch with your shirt off. And Evan, I've seen you fat with the shirt on. This is the first time I've seen you fat with the shirt off in a while. Well, I did see you at the beach, but then I never saw you sit down. And this isn't even a joke. Honestly, I'm here for you, man. I think what you need is more bullying.
No, I don't. I think bullying causes the stress that causes all this.
No. I think you need more bullying. So here's my proposal to you. This is how much I love you as a friend. Every morning from now on, you hearing me?
Yeah.
Okay. Every morning from here on out, I will text you an encouraging but insulting bullying thing. Like, eat a fucking salad today. Instead of like a good morning text, I'm going to text you like, eat a fucking salad today.
I'm not going to follow through with anything you say.
Or do not eat something from a fast food restaurant. Go to a grocery store.
All right. That's pretty reasonable.
Right?
That's probably what I should be doing. I don't want it to be all negative bullying.
And I know I should probably take my own advice because I don't eat from grocery stores a lot, but my body's killing it right now. Like, I'm in the best shape of my life, so clearly I don't want to fuck up.
I don't know how you drink.
I don't know either, man. I literally base it down to I fast. That's one thing. I do the intermittent fasting or intermittent fasting.
Yeah,
intermittent. I do that shit. But I do it technically by accident. And I also work a job where I'm outside and sweat and move around, pick things up. I think that's the big difference between you and me. Because I feel like if I didn't have this job and I ate on a regular schedule, like I don't eat breakfast, I don't eat lunch, I just eat dinner for the most part. Yeah. Sometimes I'll have 2 dinners though, but it's still within that 8-hour period. So I'm fine. I do that. And then I just work manual labor.
Yeah, but when you do eat, it's usually not healthy.
No, but
usually like Taco Bell or McDonald's or something, just a bunch of stuff off the dollar menu.
You are 100% correct on this. You're not even remotely wrong. I think we've established before. No, my diet is dog shit. I think it's just the way in which I feed my body dog shit has found a perfect algorithm where it has made me the best condition I've ever been. Like, I can take my shirt off and not worry about it.
Now, for me, it's a problem.
Now, for you, people are going to look. They're going to look and be like, oh, my God, how has this killer whale washed up this far onto shore? We're in the Midwest. How did it get this far? Was there a tsunami? Was there a tsunami that has dragged this killer whale all the way to Michigan?
I'll never forget the fat joke you made about me at the beach up north.
We haven't talked about this in the podcast, but it was fantastic. It is a perfect fat joke. You can't lie. That is a perfect timed fat joke. When you get out of the water and go, hey, anyone else realize the lake level lowered?
that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Solid fat. I'm really good at fat. I'm really good at punching down on my jokes.
I was going to say, comedy king right here.
I'm pretty good at punching up. I mean, I shot out, like last week, I shit on Nazis, right? That's punching up. That's punching up, right? Technically. I mean, we've already established how I feel about the whole punching up and down thing because it's the idea that certain people are better than others, and I'm actually believe in equality, so I don't believe anyone's better than anybody. Weird, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
isn't that a crazy thing to think, that I don't think that other people are better than other people, no matter their status, their class, disabilities, or health? Isn't it crazy? I think everyone's equal. What a banana!
You're just using this to be able to make jokes about anything you want.
What a bananas idea! No, I don't, because I shit on everybody, man. I don't think I'm better than other people.
Yeah, but
I think just because
society's rules or what they think.
Society's rules. When has society ever been right? Society, like shout out again, society said it was all right for us to forget about kids in cages just because we have a Democrat in office. That's what society told us, is that, hey, Trump's in office, kids in cages, really big deal. Wait, we got an old white guy. You know how we love those? Remember how we shit on those for 4 years as Democrats? Remember how we just said how old white guys are the worst? Well, guess what? We just elected one, and now we don't have to talk about the kids in cages anymore because it's not sexy.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Society is not always right. Actually, society is more than often not right. Not to sound like the Joker on this, because I hate him, but society is normally wrong about most things. Because groupthink's a son of a bitch. We've talked about groupthink. I'm fucking such an abashed lover of George Orwell's 1984.
Exactly.
I love that book so much because it's so much of what we are.
Well, it's just society's timeless.
Society. It's just like one of those things that like someone who's a fucking loser just always goes society. I mean, it's true. It's like I can't remember who said it, but they were talking about like the application of 1984 in like modern times and like how close it is. But George Orwell's big thing was that what he always thought was Big Brother. Big Brother's the one who always has the eye on you, the one that's always going to report you back to the big system. But again, I really wish I knew. I want to say it was Jim Norton who made this reference, but it really clicked with me. Like the reference he made is that it's not Big Brother, it's Little Brother. It's all of us reporting each other to Big Brother. Like he was close, but he wasn't quite there. There isn't this all-seeing eye that watches us. It's each other selling us out to the man. We're all sitting around with our fucking video cameras recording each other and going, look what they did, look what they did. That's fucking 1984, but instead of it being the government, we fucking fucked our own selves. It's society. We fucked our own selves. All of us serfs, if you want to go back to a serfdom system like old school Renaissance, we're the serfs. All of us serfs are selling each other out. We're all trying to be house slaves, essentially. Have you seen Django Unchained?
No.
Okay. Well, there's a really good point in that movie where Samuel L. Jackson plays a house slave, which is he's like a slave during the old time, like, when slavery was legalized in America, but he keeps selling out other slaves to give himself a higher point in his own slavery. You know what I mean? So he gets to live inside the house and he doesn't have to work out in the fields. That's essentially what we've all become. We're all just house slaves.
This sounds like a high school book report you just put together the morning of, and now you're just going on a tangent to fill time.
Hey, dude, I told you I had nothing planned. I'm just going to let it riff. I'm a little buzzed right now. I got a little buzzed, and I'm just letting the rain roll.
Hey,
but
cheers,
I honestly, yeah, Miller Lite. I'm drinking, what the fuck? I just grabbed something random from the liquor store.
Right. Move your drink.
Mine is not what I should be drinking. Like, I'm embarrassed to be drinking what I'm drinking.
Move your drink to the left till it touches the end of the screen. No, the other way. Yeah, cheers. There we go.
Yeah, all right. Well, that took way too long for a bit that didn't work. I'm drinking Smirnoff Ice Smash. It's blueberry blackberry mix. You know why I grabbed it?
Why?
Because it's cheap and has 8% alcohol. That's really why I bought it. 8%, yeah.
You should just stick with Miller Lite. These are like what, 4? Something?
4.2.
Why did I know that? Yeah, it's just like
I know that to the heart of my hearts, man. I know all of that. What was I talking about? 1984, house slaves. Oh, we're all house slaves.
Yeah.
We get off. We feel like the only way to make it farther in society at this point is by not shitting. I mean, we kind of shit on the rich and stuff like that, but it's really just selling down the drain of another person who's a loser. You know what I mean? Because remarkably, we're all losers for the most part. It's a serfdom. I mean, most of America is income is made by the top 1%. So the rest of us are all losers. So the only way we can like feel like we can like level up in society is by destroying the lives of another 99%er.
I guess.
Evan, you're allowed. Evan, I know you're a journalist, and I just want to tell you right now, you're allowed to disagree with me. It's okay.
I want to have opinions on these topics.
You feel uncomfortable. What would you? Well, when I said that, how do you feel about what I said? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I just feel like you're rambling.
I'm not rambling. I'm saying a real thing. I'm saying an honest thought. See, this is what happens when I drink a little bit. I'm just like, all right, so war crimes, right? Yeah. Like, I'm thinking about George W. Bush. Remember when we all got excited? Like, oh, George W. Bush is painting. And I'm like, yeah, remember when he just created Guantanamo Bay and we just tortured people for no reason for years? And like, they were teenagers and a lot of them, we really not terrorists at all, but for some reason we got to hold them captive against their will for a decade and torture them. And then we just let them go and then gave them a reason to want to commit 9/11. Like 9/11 happened, right? And then Guantanamo Bay happened. And then we took whatever, fucking Guacamole Bay happened. Guacamole Bay happened, all right? And then we just took a bunch of innocent people. Some of them might have been terrorists. Maybe 0.5% of the people we took in were actually terrorists, but a lot of them were just innocent young people. Then we took them in, tortured them for a year to a decade without even giving them like an actual fucking trial, right? And then we just let them go back to their country to become the thing we were worried they were going to be. Because now if I was them, I'd be like, oh, no, I never was in a plot to destroy America. But then if you did that to me, as soon as I was released, I'm like, my only goal is to destroy America now. Like, that would be my number one thing. I live in America. And if America imprisoned me for a decade without a trial and tortured me, as soon as I got done, I'm like, I want all of them to die. Like, that'd be my number one.
Or you could just move and never visit ever again.
No. Vengeance would be in my mind. You know what? We're going to get...
Well, you're like, no. Like,
yeah, well, because as soon as I'm scratching my head, I also realized that George Bush, created the Patriot Act, which didn't allow any privacy. So essentially, the FBI has already flagged this video and has heard all of this. And I'm probably on a list somewhere for being an ISIS sympathizer. I'm probably already targeted at this point.
Yeah, this episode is going to get us canceled.
It won't get us canceled.
You're like, I'm drinking Smirnoff Ice, and you put it down. You're like, so where we're at? 9/11. Let's talk about 9/11.
Yeah. Evan, it won't get us canceled. It's just now all of our texts are going to be monitored, and it's legal because under George Bush, we all gave up our freedom of privacy because of 9/11. But hey, guess what, dude? Doesn't he paint pretty little pictures?
I don't know. It's been years.
Doesn't he paint little pretty? If I can see all that, where everyone's like, look at George Bush. He paints pictures now. He's a painter. Isn't he a nice act? Wasn't he better than Trump? It's like, no, he wasn't. It's insane that there's people out there that think George Bush was better than Trump. Trump essentially accomplished nothing. If I really look back at his presidency, he did almost nothing. The thing he did do was he said, grab him by the pussy. Fucked up, right? I'm not even condoning that. And then he said a bunch of racially charged, very Christian things. George Bush, on the other hand, created a fake war where we started killing a bunch of innocent Arab children. He got rid of our freedoms for the Privacy Act and created a torture chamber. I don't know if they weigh out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think. Like, I'm not a fan of Trump, but
I was gonna say, are you gonna put your 2020 hat on?
No, it's not even a positive. I'm just saying, if you weigh the two, what are Trump's big things? He served that team.
Do you call him Trump?
What?
Did you call him Trump? It's not like he's a Trump.
No, Trump. So Trump, what did he do? He served that team fast food. That upset a lot of people. He said some things not great about women. Just said them. Didn't create any laws that affected him, essentially. he appoints someone in the Supreme Court who was a woman but wasn't pro-choice. That's problematic. I agree with that one. And then he said a bunch of fucked up shit on Twitter. There's Trump.
He incited a riot.
There's Trump.
He incited a riot at the Capitol that resulted in deaths.
First off, this is why. All right, I could say probably like I wouldn't say incited, but he didn't disencourage.
Yeah, he basically.
How many people died on the Capitol?
There was 5.
Man,
5 deaths.
Do you know how many people died in Guantanamo Bay?
Did you follow the news at all that day?
Oh, I get it. White lives matter to you, but Arabs from a country getting drone strike that are innocent children, that's not really that big of a deal.
I'm not even talking about.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm talking about. Do you remember how bad January 6th was? It was awful.
It was hysterical. January 6th was proof that 9/11 was not an inside job.
I guess it's your opinion.
No. It was 100% proof. Because everyone likes to think that the American government is this like all-knowing, super powerful thing, and that they could probably plan 9/11. If it was an inside job, is the most elaborate, foolproof plan of all time that went perfectly. That same government allowed a bunch of drunk hicks that knew nothing about tactics storm the Capitol. Now, do you know why we use the word storm?
Why?
Because there was no tactical. It wasn't even like a military operation. The storm is they just went, we're going to it, and then they just kept walking forward, and no one stopped them.
It was poor defense, I believe.
What?
It was poor security.
Right. So the government that allowed a bunch of just people who have no military experience essentially just own some guns and are drunk white trash, because a lot of those people were hammered. Let's be honest. They were drunk. They were drunk white trash, fucking mad because Biden was president. Essentially just kind of walked into the Capitol. But we're supposed to believe the same people that protect the Capitol from drunk white people just walking in were the same people that created the most elaborate foolproof plan of all time. Doesn't really equate. I've been trying to tell people over this years, the American government is incompetent as fuck. Look up, all right, here's a fun article. Look up what we do with all of our nuclear weapons. Look up missing nuclear arms from America. You'll fucking laugh, dude. The stories of how we protect our nuclear weapons, we are so fucking incompetent. America's government is America the people. We are ignorant, incompetent people. We can't even protect our fucking nuclear weapons. There's a fucking story, if you can find it, about how these guys that were at a nuclear base that could launch nuclear missiles ordered a pizza, and then the pizza guys showed up, and all the guys were sleeping and just walked into the nuclear base. That is a real story in real life. Everything was unlocked. They were sleeping. No, he just walked in to a facility. Didn't storm it even. He just walked in. That literally held the ability to destroy other countries. We accidentally were transporting nuclear arms one time and dropped them from a plane, and we almost killed a good portion of America, but they didn't detonate. We all went, well, thank God that didn't happen. It's hysterical that people. Would you find it?
About the pizza thing?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, read this out. This is a real. I don't understand how this was not broadcast anymore. Probably because it's not sexy, because the news really makes a lot of money making you believe that America is this competent system that knows what it's doing and that it's evil and doing all this shit. But no, it's a bunch of ignorant fucking morons running the country, and they have no idea what's going on half the time. And this story proves it. So please, if you can read this story, this should have been worldwide news. Everyone should have been talking about it. Almost no one knows.
U.S. Air Force officers entrusted with the launch keys to long-range nuclear missiles have been caught twice this year.
Wait. Please repeat that sentence. The launch keys of what, Evan?
Long-range nuclear missiles.
Long-range nuclear missiles. Evan, you're not the most educated guy, but you went to college. What can nuclear missiles do?
They can kill a lot of people.
How many people would you roughly say?
Hundreds of thousands.
Okay,
maybe.
Side page before we conclude this. Can you do a side page and just look up, on average, how many people could a nuclear missile kill? And also, don't forget what nuclear weapons do to the land afterwards, because it makes it contaminated.
I think 100, so it's about 120,000 people.
120,000 people. And did it say one nuclear missile, or did it say nuclear missiles plural?
I think one.
It was just one?
Yeah.
Did it say nuclear missile or nuclear missiles?
Missile.
Missile, okay. So the fate of 120,000 people roughly in the fate of one hand. Okay. Continue with the article, please. Everyone keep that in mind.
I've been caught twice this year leaving open the blast door that is intended to help prevent a terrorist or other intruder from entering their underground command post, airport officials said. The blast doors are never to be left open if one of the crew members inside is asleep, as was the case in both these instances. Out of concern
Not
for trouble
once.
an intruder could cause, including...
Wait, pause.
You gotta wait till I'm done with the sentence.
I know, but I want to, because you're making a point out of not once. Twice. So this wasn't just like a hiccup that happens. This is a fluke. This will never happen again. Twice in 1 year, correct? As it was said, 1 year?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And these are the people that made 9/11 an inside job, correct? Like, this is what everyone's belief is. It's hysterical. The incompetence of belief that people could have. Continue.
I have concern for the trouble an intruder could cause, including the compromising of secret launch codes. An investigative report by the Associated Press found that the most recent violations involving the blast doors were caused by the chronic cravings of lunch control crews for delivery pizza. A launch control officer who wished to remain anonymous told AP that Domino's Pizza, which has a contract with Global Strike Command as its sole pizza supplier, requires that the blast doors remain open whenever an order is called in, so that the company can fulfill its 30 minutes or its free guarantee.
Pause that right there. Domino's Pizza has made a demand that we leave the launch doors open to a nuclear weapon that can kill 120,000 people on average. It could kill more, it could kill less. Let's be fair. It really depends on when it's placed. Like, if you place it in New York, you're going to probably kill a lot more than 120,000 people, you know. Demands that the launch doors are left open so that this company doesn't have to give them a free pizza because it takes over 30 minutes. If this isn't the most American article of all time about capitalism trumping that the fucking economic growth of a fucking millionaire is more important than the safety of 120,000 people, the economic growth by, let's say they ordered some pizzas. They ordered 4 pizzas. How much are they really making on each one of those pizzas? Like the actual equity of the company. Let's say $4 or $5 a pizza, and that's probably being generous after you include ingredients.
After you include $15 a pizza.
I know exactly, but after you include ingredients, service, all that kind of shit, the actual equity is probably like $5 to $6, and I think that's actually probably being generous per pizza for the actual equity of the company. You're paying out the franchise, all those other things. Maybe $5 to $6. So let's say they're making about $20. They're making $18 to $24, 3 to 4 pizzas, and that's probably more generous. They probably ordered 1 medium. Like, that's honestly probably what happened. But let's just say they all order all these pizzas. They get 4 pizzas, make about $24. They said, we cannot risk losing $24 for the safety of 120,000 people. We're not even going to do American citizens, because you could shoot it off into a country you just felt like at the time. You went, you know what? I really don't like what Taiwan's doing. Let's just go launch that shit over there real quick. This story is bananas, and I don't know how most people don't know about this and argue why our country is fucked. And also why you can ever think like they can pull an elaborate plan off, and then you hear a story like this and you're like, no, dude, they'll probably like doing all this like really fucked up shit where it's like we don't really know about it, and they're like manipulating the masses, and then you hear a story like this and it's like they can't even figure out how to protect nuclear weapons when they already have the locked doors. They're like dominoes. Well, we gotta have dominoes.
That was pretty good.
Hey, $5.99 for a medium, dude. Come on. It's worth the lives of 120,000 people. I'll tell you this right now. I will sacrifice 120,000 random people on this earth, not from all from one section. If you just picked 120,000 people to disappear to make sure that Domino's still keeps the one topping $5.99 pizza, I'm doing that. And yeah, I'm risking it being my nieces or my sister or my brother or some of my best friends or my parents, of course. But, once a month or so, I want that $5.99 one topping pizza. And I'm not willing to partake with that if the company's going to lose $24 because they have to give pizza away for free because the launch doors take too long to open. Yeah. Continue with the article.
The blast door violations are another sign of trouble in the handling of the nation's nuclear arsenal. The AP has discovered a series of problems within the ICBM force, including the failed safety inspection, the temporary sideline of launch officers deemed unfit for duty, and the abrupt firing last week of the two-star general in charge. They also discovered that delivery personnel for Domino's Pizza, the official pizza supplier...
Okay, stop. Wait 1 second. I don't know a lot about star generals, right? But I know it goes up to 5.
So 2-star.
So I figure if you're a 2-star general, it's kind of like you're 2 out of 5 stars, right?
I think it's based on years of experience.
I agree with you, but would you not disagree? When you hear a 2-star general, it very much sounds like a shitty diner of generals, right?
This isn't like Yelp,
I kind of feel like it is, though. I'm just saying nuclear weapons that can kill hundreds to thousands of people, because I know it says on average 120,000, but it's like if you landed that bitch in the middle of New York or LA or San Francisco, you're killing more than 120,000 people.
Yeah.
So
there's millions.
The potential to kill hundreds of thousands of people, I think, should be above 2 stars. Do you think maybe? Do you think that's a weird statement to make?
Yeah, or do you think that's who the best fit is?
But I think 2 out of 5 stars is not the best fit.
I think it goes by years of experience. It's
probably this sounds like a diner where the waitress will be rude to you and be upset that you're there, and she will make you feel like you're an asshole for even eating there. This is what the kind of that's the kind of general I equate this to a Yelp review. You walk into a diner, you sit down, and they go, what do you want? And then you ask for what you want, and then they realize how long it's going to take to make it. They're like, holy shit. And you're like, can I have coffee? And they're like, do you want cream? And I'm like, no, I don't need cream. They're like, thank God. It's like, I didn't want cream, but I'm very upset that you're that upset that I could have possibly
I never had this sort of experience when I went to a restaurant.
Well, it's because you don't eat out enough, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I eat out, but not inside.
I know, and I'm also part of the problem because I'll always tip at least 15 to 20% no matter what. Someone could be the biggest asshole or biggest bitch to me on the planet, and I'll still tip them 15 to 20%. And I know we're supposed to go, oh, they have lives, and there's like we should do it. It's like, nah, fuck them. Like, honestly, fuck them. I honestly think if you're a dickhead, you don't deserve to make a living. Jeez, that's what my thing.
The hottest take on Inept Pit of all time.
I will. I'll say, make America nice again. Make America nice again. Mana, dude. Make America nice again. If you're a fucking asshole, I hope you and your children starve. Maybe you'll learn some fucking civility and some
Someone's
human
a
decency.
Hypocrite over here.
Well, I'm nice to people who are nice. I worked sales. I was never mean to anybody for no fucking reason. Even when I was having a bad day, I was very nice to everybody. If you gave me now, here's the difference. If you give me a reason to not like you, not for what you ordered, but like if you're a fucking asshole, like if you say some like
attitude,
horrible no, if you're just horrible shit or treat me like less than a human, yeah, fuck them then. I treat fucking servers like humans. So if you're fucking projecting your day onto me, go home. I don't want to deal with that shit. And you know what? I'm sorry that and this is the fucked up part. It goes back to I don't know if you ever seen the movie Reservoir Dogs.
No.
But really tipping should not be a thing. No, it shouldn't. And it's not. No, I'll always tip.
We have lost.
I'll always, no. I'll always tip. That's not what I'm saying. I'll always tip. I'm not a guy who's not going to tip. I'm not a fucking piece of shit. Like, I understand that they rely on the tips. But the way the business is built, like, let's say a franchise like Applebee's, right? The owner is a billionaire. Well, actually, maybe just a millionaire. Look up who's the CEO of Applebee's and see what his fucking net worth is, because this is a very interesting conversation. No, I don't want to get into
article, man. I don't want
to. No. We'll get back to the nuclear weapons. It all has to do with capitalism in America, I guess. I think maybe not. What's the net worth of the CEO of Applebee's?
I think about $5 million. $5
million.
5.15.
$5.15 million. Evan, how much is $5.1 million?
What do you mean? It's $5.15 million.
No, I mean, what does that mean to you?
It's a lot of money. I mean, it's typical contract for a professional athlete, usually. Okay.
Well, we'll get into that on another case. We'll talk about that later. But $5.1 million. That's CEO. Is that now? I'm not great at business. CEO that doesn't technically count as the owner, correct? CEO is just whoever's running the corporation.
It's basically the big administrator. It's chief executive officer.
So who's the owner of Applebee's? Is there an owner? Because I want to go to the tippy top of Applebee's.
Why are we shooting on Applebee's? I think it's a good restaurant.
It's not a good restaurant. It's a horrible facility. I mean, like, if you work there, good for you. Like, you're an American who serves other Americans. Because I don't like people who shit on Applebee's. I get it. You're a hipster, and it makes you feel special to shit on a place that middle-class people can afford to eat out at, and it makes you feel better than them. But no, Applebee's does a good service for poor people where they're allowed to have a night out for $25 plus tip and act like they're, going on a date. It's an important thing for fucking animals. Like, there's poor people out there, and every once in a while they also want to act like they can go out. And that's what Applebee's provides. So I don't like it when people shit on Applebee's. It's like, yeah, we have 3 kids and I really don't have a lot of money, but me and my wife deserve a date night. And yeah, I can fucking spare 2 for 25 plus tip. I can't afford to go to these fucking nice restaurants. And a lot of people shit on people like that. But no, Applebee's is for the average American that's getting fucked over by a corporation and has
it's for the neighborhood. That's why it's called neighborhood grill.
Oh, I agree. I think we've had this whole conversation. I agree with you. It says in your neighborhood, but hipsters really shit
They've
on.
They've got the athletes on the high school athletes on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. They go, oh, if I want to microwave food, I'll stay at home. Good, stay at home. No one at Applebee's wants to see you. They really don't like you at Applebee's.
I'll tell you what,
because you think they're better than Applebee's.
The garlicky green beans at Applebee's are really good.
I don't even know, but I'll agree with you. They are fine. I'm sure they are good. I'm sure they are better than McDonald's, and that's all Applebee's is. Applebee's it's not claiming to be the best food on the planet. It is a step up from your average McDonald's, Burger King. That's all it is. That's all it is, but you also get to sit down and act like you're a person that has money and you're being served and having a date. Because if you go to McDonald's, you don't really feel like you're having a night out.
I don't know if
it's poor people's way of having fun and going and having a night out when they really can't afford to go to a decent restaurant. So I'm really sick of all these hipsters that come from money, or they have abundance of, like, government assistance or student loans or something like that, that allow, or like, anything that allow, or don't even have children. So they don't really understand like the actual pressures of having a real budget where it's like, well, I have $35 to spend on myself this week because I have 3 kids, and the whole world's fucked and I can't have a job and a wife and us both work a full-time job and support our children. No, it's for people. It's for the most, not even, it's for the most average American. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. And I hope Applebee's never dies for that reason. For
That's
that
the closer.
reason.
Let me just shit
For
on this
that
restaurant for
reason.
5 minutes.
I don't like.
It's actually pretty good.
I don't like it, but I'm not going to shit on Applebee's because what it
Applebee's is
provides.
so good. The ribs. I might go.
I'll go to Applebee's with you just to support a fucking company that supports letting poor people act like they're people. That's all it is.
I will not stand the slander for half off apps.
I'm not slandering.
It's a good deal.
I'm promoting half off apps. Are you poor? Do you want to act like you're a human being who's part of society and not and not living with outside their means because they have a couple children and go to college and just make shit minimum wage money? But you can maybe muster up the $25 plus tip one night out of the month. That's what Applebee's is. And God bless them for that. Providing poor people with an evening out, because everyone deserves an evening out, not just rich people. Everyone deserves a night where they get to go out, have a dinner, and act like and pretend like there's not kids in cages. Remember, I'm gonna say
Lord,
that
on this side,
they're gonna pretend like there's not kids in cages.
You go to Applebee's; it's a great restaurant. I love it. Drew doesn't like it that much.
I think what they represent is fantastic. I hope they never die. But how much does the owner of Applebee's make?
Well, I just looked it up. The co-founder of Applebee's passed away in December.
What was his net worth, though?
Didn't say.
Well, look him up on networthcelebrity.com. You can find all this shit. All this information is public.
Net worth celebrity?
Or just look up his name plus net worth. You'll find it. Everyone's out there, dude.
I just did. It just doesn't say anything. Wait, let me keep scrolling here.
Well, also you guys also wonder what is the administrative bloat of Applebee's. Do you know what I mean by that?
Administrative bloat?
Yeah. All right. So I'm a big Yang Gang guy. I love Andrew Yang, and a big thing of why he contradicted free college was that free college isn't going to solve the problem with the unemployment rate. And I might be getting this number wrong, but I think it's I want to say it's 40%. Look up what is the unemployment rate or the underemployment rate of college graduates, because I think it's 42%.
I gotta find this not worth it. I'm looking at 15 things.
Well, it's fine. If you can't find it, let's go on to the next thing. The guy makes a lot of money, probably more than $5.1 million is the point. All right. So now let's go to underemployment of college graduates. I think it's 42%. 42% of college graduates are underemployed. So 43. Free college, 43. So which means they're not making enough money to support themselves. 43% of college graduates are not making enough money to support themselves. So the idea of free college is really not going to solve the economic problem at all.
Yeah.
Because going to college 43% of the time, you can graduate the degree, you're not making enough money. The problem is that we're not advocating the actual right degrees to get. College can be free, but then if you go get a liberal arts degree, you're still going to be making pizzas at Pizza Hut. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's free. You just don't have the debt. But should we really be paying for your stupid decision to go get a liberal arts degree when there's no jobs in that field?
Come on, Drew. Follow your dreams.
Yeah, go ahead, follow your dreams, but that doesn't mean the American taxpayer should have to pay for your dreams. I'm a stand-up comic. I'm following my dreams. Do I think anyone should have to pay for my gas to get to shows? No, because it's a stupid dream to follow, and it probably won't happen. So the problem is with it is that the reason why college is so expensive, what we really need to do is not make college free, is we need to cut down administrative bloat, where they're hiring all of CEOs, I don't know what you call it in the college sphere because I'm not smart. the college sphere. But it's like the same thing with a lot of these companies that they hire so many people with administrative and they pay them so fucking much that's why college and tuition has gone up. I think college tuition has gone up 200% in the
Yeah, it
last.
goes up every year. It's kind of treated like a
No,
company.
no, but I'm pretty sure it's gone up. Look up. I think it's, and I could be completely wrong. This could be me just lying, but I think college tuition has gone up, I think 200% in the last 30 years. But the education level has not gone up 200%. So you're paying 200% more for not something that's 200% better.
Yeah.
Well, why would that? Hypothetically, it could be lower than that, but I know it is an astronomical number, and I know that the education has not improved to like equate the amount it has gone up. So why would you be paying more than that? And that goes to administrative bloat, where it's you're hiring in all these executives and stuff like that, deans, these people making boatloads of money. They're making more than they should, or even doing jobs where they probably sit on their phone and like they sit taking a dump looking at Facebook at their phone for like, an hour a day anyways. And yet they're making six figures. And these people may do retrospectively nothing. They reply to a couple of emails throughout a day, have meetings with people that really don't accomplish anything or do anything. If anything, they just are meetings with people that they're trying to get donations from to get more money for the school so that they can get paid more and that the tuition can go up and that somehow that justifies why it's as nice as it is. Yet the education level of what you're experiencing really doesn't go up at all.
Well, there goes our shot for Inept Pit to be performed live at colleges and universities.
They were never going to hire us anyways. I'm like,
any small hope there was completely diminished with that take.
Yeah, probably. I don't even know how I got on. What the fuck we were talking about? Applebee's.
We were talking about.
Okay, so Applebee's $5.1 million. No, but back to that. Well, how do we start on Domino's?
I was reading that article.
Oh yeah, how the fuck do we get all the way to here?
Because I said we should. No, I don't know.
God damn it!
I said we should keep reading because you're gonna get loose thought, and we're gonna go on a rant.
Just start reading the Domino's article. I'll try to figure out how I got here. I don't remember how I got here.
Me too. It was about the 2-star generals, and then we went about Yelp, and then we somehow ended up on Applebee's and whatever.
I'm very anti-capitalism as of late.
They also discovered that delivery personnel for Domino's Pizza, the official supplier for the Global Strike Command, are not required to receive security clearances prior to entering the top security launch complexes.
Bananas. Okay. Hello. Do we have any listeners that are part of ISIS out there? Join Domino's. They'll just let you into a nuclear facility with a weapon. Why to go all this elaborate planning to plan 9/11 when you could just kill more people by getting a job at Domino's?
The problems, including low morale, underscore the challenges of feeding personnel and keeping safe such a deadly force that is constantly on alert but is unlikely ever to be used. The willingness of some So
what you're saying is that the people that are guarding it really don't believe anything's ever going to happen with it. So they're kind of they're doing the same thing as all these CEOs. They're probably sitting there on their phone, scrolling through Facebook going, yeah, there's a nuke, but it's never going to be used. And no one's really going to come attack it. Look at these big bay doors. Hey, someone order a pizza. I'm going to take a nap. That's essentially how the government runs their fucking nuclear weapons that can kill over 100,000 people, if not more. That's wonderful to know, guys.
The willingness.
Remember, guys, these are also the people that planned 9/11 and made it the most elaborate, foolproof plan of all time. Just also remember that these people were the same people who did that in some people's mind.
The willingness of some launch officers to leave the blaster open at times reflects a mindset far removed from Cold War days when the U.S. lived in fear of a nuclear strike by the Soviet Union. It was that fear that provided the original rationale for placing ICBMs and reinforced underground silos and the launch control officers in buried capsules.
You mean a logical response to having a weapon of mass destruction going, hey, if we're going to have this weapon that could kill, 100,000 people or more, maybe we should have some high security on it and not make it easy to get. Very logical response to happen. But, Cold War's not here anymore. We're kind of laxing up. And we're like, Domino's got to come in. Hopefully, you're not an incel that wants to kill a bunch of people, which you probably are if you're a fucking Domino's delivery driver. And which is no shitting on people who work in pizza. I'm just saying stereotypically, or not stereotypically, but statistically, you probably can't. If you're a guy that works delivery as a pizza man, statistically, you probably struggle getting laid because you don't have a real job, and you
I
also.
wasn't done with that sentence.
I know, but statistically, you probably struggle getting laid because you don't have a real job, and anyone, gay or straight, don't really respect someone who has a job like that unless you have a six pack. But chances are you work for a pizza place, you don't have a six pack because you probably eat a lot of pizza. So your best bet is that you're bony. You're not like fucking yoked. So you might be like really really skinny because you do a lot of drugs. Because you do a lot of drugs. I worked pizza. I'll tell you this right now. Everyone in pizza is doing drugs. When you buy a pizza, when you give them a tip, just know that money is 95% chance going to drugs. That everyone in pizza is fucked up constantly. I did my first hardcore drugs while working for pizza, and it was given to me by my boss. They were given to me by
Marijuana,
my
though, right?
boss.
Marijuana?
No. Hardcore drugs. The first time I did a hardcore drugs.
Marijuana is hardcore, man.
Evan, that's adorable. Stop pretending. You even do marijuana, so let's not do that.
No, I don't.
Yeah, sure you don't. Okay. Oh, yeah, Bob Diane. Evan doesn't do marijuana.
I hate you. This is our last podcast ever.
Well, don't shit on marijuana if you don't want to be called a hypocrite, man. It's not a bad. Marijuana's fine. I really don't care. It's really how you use anything. Because I've gotten really into this big. Here's another rant. Got really big into. I really honestly, even if you do like some of like the more elaborate drugs, I honestly think at the end of the day, all that matters is how you do them. Does that make sense?
We're gonna get back to the article, or we're just.
We will get back to it, but I'm on this now. All right. There's drug addict behavior, and this could even apply to alcohol, which I've been trying to eliminate. We kind of do this sometimes. I've been trying to back this off too. But the idea of, like, let's say you're going to do a drug, you can apply this to drinking as well, or smoking weed, whatever, doing some fucking shrooms, doing acid, anything like that. When your plan for what your activity is to do the drug, that's drug addict behavior. What are we doing tonight? We're going to do drugs. What are we doing tonight? We're going to get high. What are we doing tonight? We're going to get drunk. Yeah. That's addict behavior. But I don't feel like it's bad to do any of those things as long as you're not performing an addict behavior where the activity is doing the drug or the narcotic, whatever you want to call it, the stimulant, whatever. If you're doing something and then decide to add that in to add on to the experience, fantastic. These are people that are not doing it constantly. These are people who are doing it socially, and these are people who are doing it for, add a little flavor to whatever you're doing. That's fantastic. But when it's like we're going to go in this room and we're going to drink, or we're going to do shrooms, or we're going to take acid, or we're going to smoke pot, and it's like, well, what's the plan? It's like, no, that's the plan for tonight. We're going to do that.
We're going to do it down and back again. We're going to hit 9 bars in a row and go back.
I would say that's close. To it, but I think the actual thing wasn't more about the drinking. That's why we drink light beers. It wasn't really about the drinking. It was more about the experience of trying to see and hit as many places as possible. That's what I think.
No, I thought it was to say how drunk can we get.
That was not my plan.
That's why we went to 18 places, basically.
No, that was the risk of the plan. But the plan was
see how many places we can go.
Hit, yes, yeah, exactly.
I don't think that was the plan. It was basically we're going to do.
That was my plan. I don't know what your plan is. My plan was to see if we could go to all these places twice. And then you add in the risk. Then you add the risk of stimulant, and that's what the fun part is. Like, let's say I'm going to a concert. I'm going to do shrooms and see if I can handle it. Now, see, Sue, you're going to a concert. That's the activity. Now you're doing shrooms while you go to this concert. But the activity is not the shrooms, but the risk and excitement of shrooms adds to the experience of the concert. You're doing the shrooms and going, can I handle this concert while on shrooms? Now that's how you do drugs. But if you're like, I'm going to sit in a room with people and we're just going to take a bunch of shrooms and then we're just going to like sit there, that sounds like taking heroin to you, doesn't it? That's what heroin addicts do. They sit in a room, they tie off their arms, they shoot heroin, and they just kind of lay there. I'm just saying it's a slippery slope. I legit think that anything, like when people said weed's a gateway drug, and a lot of people said no. For a while, I was like, yeah, no, weed's not. I was like, weed's a gateway drug. No, it's not a gateway drug. Because I always thought back when, here's the one thing, weed is a gateway drug as long as it's illegal. I will totally attest to this. And it's nothing about weed, but if you're buying an illegal substance, you're going to, like, if you can't go to a dispensary, that's why dispensaries are good. It makes it not a gateway drug because you're just going to a place where you can buy weed. But if you're going to a person who sells illegal substances, chances are they're going to try to sell you other illegal substances at some point. And that's why weed was a gateway drug. But the more it legalized, like, if weed was fully legalized, it's no longer a gateway drug. Same thing with alcohol. Like if I go to a bar to drink beer, at no point is the bartender going to walk up to me like, yeah, you like that beer? Would you like some crack cocaine? I mean, I guess depending on the bar. There could always be, a weird bar out there. But on average, they're not selling crack cocaine behind the bar. Correct?
Yeah.
But But I remember when I was younger and I bought weed, dude, I was offered cocaine. I've been offered cocaine by people I've bought weed from, and I said no, but there was definitely probably people out there that didn't say no. Because you're already buying an illegal substance, bing, bang, boom. It's not the drug itself, it's the lifestyle behind making something illegal.
Yeah, I've never done cocaine.
Good for you.
Also, I want to point out, anyone going to a concert, you don't have to do drugs to have a good time at a concert.
No, you do not. I 100% agree with you on that one. I'm just saying it will be a better experience if you do. You don't have to. And I'm saying drugs as a capsule. I'll include alcohol and weed when I say drugs. That's why I'm not even saying like when I say drugs, I'll say when I'm saying it right now.
Mind-altering substances.
In general, yes. Yeah. They will not, you don't have to do them to have a good time. I've been to concerts sober. They are just definitely better when on them. 100%. 100%. As a man who's been to a lot of concerts, they're better with them. But that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between I'm going out, I'm doing a thing, and I'm doing this drug or stimulant, whatever you want to call it, to enhance the thing versus my activity is just doing the thing.
Yeah.
Would you
Speaking
agree
of concerts, Mega Tour just kicked off last night. Coming to Detroit in a couple weeks.
No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that.
I'm going.
Why do you want to see 3 mediocre bands?
They're not mediocre. They're really
Actually,
good.
you're right. 2 mediocre bands and 1 bad one.
Who's the bad?
You're right. I'm sorry. Fall Out Boy.
They're pretty good.
No, they're not.
I like their music. I know you don't.
Green Day, 1 good album. Dookie. Weezer, 1 good album. Blue Album.
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy, 0 good albums.
They have good songs.
Huh? Who cares? So we have 3 bands touring together, and it combined 2 good albums.
You don't need a good album to be a good band.
I don't think you need math to fucking figure out that one.
Look, there's gonna be thousands of people there. We're all gonna have a good time.
At what, Comerica Park? Everyone knows baseball stadiums are the worst to ever watch a fucking live performance at.
Well, they're gonna put people on the infield.
It doesn't matter. It's not built. It's not like it hasn't been like designed to have sound in it. Yeah. You understand that? Like the acoustics are not created for sound. It's like Little Caesars Arena in Detroit is also kind of a shitty venue to see concerts. It's not as bad as Comerica Park, an outside venue, but the best venues are the ones that have been built to have concerts because they've literally created the whole room, the
Amphitheaters.
structured amphitheaters. Those are the outside ones, but even inside theaters, they have been structured and built acoustically to fit sound. Music sounds better in them because sound waves are a thing, and the whole construction of the building was designed around that.
Yeah. Let's get back to the article.
Oh yeah, the fucking pizza nuclear
Unless you
weapons.
just want to stop.
No, we'll finish it. How much time do we have still?
We have like 7 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it's 8:13. We started like 7:20. I think we started 7:19.
Oh my god, that went by fast. This is a fun episode.
I
think I just talked. I think I just ranted about politics for most of it, but fantastic.
Today, the fear of such an attack has all but disappeared, and with it, the appeal is strictly following the blast door rule. The crews who operate the missiles are still expected to follow rules without fail.
Oh wait, pause. I remember the thing why we talked about the Applebee's guy and the tipping. The point was that the Applebee guys makes $5.1 million. And I said, I'm against tipping. I'll always tip. I want to clarify this before we get to it. I just don't think the reasons restaurants make money. Wow. The reasons restaurants makes money is the sentence I just said. So clearly you should probably listen to my opinion. I can't even make sentences properly. But the reasons restaurants make money, and this is the horrible business plan behind it, and they probably wouldn't work. But really all it means is that you should probably be paying more for food that's being served to you and cooked to you from other people at the end of the day. The reason they make more money is because instead of paying their employees a fair wage, they implore it on the customer to pay their employees, which is just a fucked system. Like that makes no sense. It makes no sense. I should go to I don't mind paying more for my food, but it puts the burden of, hey, I really don't want to pay them a livable wage. So it's kind of on you to pay them a livable wage if you want to. It's not even you have to. It's if you want to. You don't really have to pay them a livable wage if you don't want to. They could make nothing if you feel like it. But it's on you to decide if they deserve to pay their bills and feed their children this month. That's on you. I know they work for me and I make all the money from their service, but it's on you to decide if their kid eats lunch tomorrow at school or if they have to get a free lunch from school. That really gives them no protein as long as their school offers free lunches. Otherwise, their kid will just starve at school tomorrow, but that's on you. That's your problem. You shouldn't have came to eat out unless you wanted to pay my employees. Why aren't you paying my employees?
This article's been open for like 45 minutes. It should take 5 minutes to read it. We're still
asinine. It's asinine that tipping exists. Tipping, I think, get me wrong, you're going to have to create a separate link for this. I think tipping started during Prohibition or sometime during that point. And it was all about it. And this is the fucked up history of tipping. Is that tipping used to be banned because tipping essentially meant that people with more money would get better service, and people used to believe that everyone deserves to be treated equally. But tipping was the prohibition of like going like, hey, here's $20, give me a good table, make sure I get my food first, make sure I get that. And then tipping was like against the rules for a long time because it was like, no, everyone who comes in here will pay the price of the meal and they'll be treated equally. And then rich people started giving extra money so they got better service, better tables, stuff like that. And then companies realized, well, why should I have to pay my employees when you should pay my employees and then I'll make more money? Charge me $3 more fucking dollars for your rubber steak, Applebee's. 3, 4, 5, make less equity. You don't need $5.1 million, CEO. Really, you don't ever need more than fucking $150,000, honestly. But of course, that's never going to happen because we've talked about this in the last episode. If you make money, you're never going to help people with it. It's just the reality of becoming a red dragon. Eventually, you make enough money where you have ascended humanity and you become a dragon who likes to sleep on his gold. You don't really even plan on doing anything with all your gold. You just want to hoard it to yourself. So it's never going to happen. But tipping is a broken system that really just creates a service where, the owner of a company gets a benefit off of your lack of wages, and then you get to live in fear that maybe you'll make ends meet tonight, maybe you won't. But to be fair, like in some situations, there is a benefit to tipping because there are people that make astronomical amount of money for one night of work that they should never make. And that's not an insult to them, but if you go out and you're a fucking server at a restaurant, do you really deserve to make $400 in a night for just bringing dishes to people? No, not really. That's not really an equal amount of wages for that. It's kind of ridiculous to think that being a server can make $400, $500 a night. That's preposterous. But at the same time, I also feel for people who go out and they're like, I need to make money tonight. And they expect this $400 to $500 a night. And then they get stiffed a bunch. No one should have to live a life where their wages are questionable. You should be able to go to your job, know how much you make, and be able to create a budget based off that. If it's high or not. Let's say you're at a fancy restaurant. Good. You're making $400, $500. You're a great bartender. You make $400, $500 a night for serving all these drinks. Well, then you should always make $400 to $500 a night, and it shouldn't be in question on how good your night is, depending on service, depending on how people come in. That is ridiculous. Your wages shouldn't be in question. You go in, you do the best to your ability, to the best job you can, and you deserve an equal amount of wage for that, whether you're busy or not. Is that crazy?
Yes.
To think that
I've got 2 paragraphs left in this article.
That you deserve security.
I challenge you to not interrupt so we can get this done and we can do plugs. We're already past that.
All right, yeah. Do the last 2 paragraphs.
An unnamed mislayer told AP that launch control officers often order multiple pizzas at a time and freeze them for later consumption in the event of a nuclear war, after which they would be stuck underground for an indefinite time period. The officer said that...
Pause. So I was wrong. They are making more than $24 in this. They said multiple pizzas. So instead of making $24, Domino's might miss out. Instead of $24, Domino's might miss out on like $48 to $60 worth of profits. How could they possibly do that when the security of 120,000 people are at risk? How could we not risk Domino's losing $60 when the lives of 120,000 people are at risk? I mean, the money matches up, right? The money matches up. Go ahead.
The officer said that there's nothing more comforting than the aroma of reheated pizza after Armageddon. That's a pretty good quote. The spokesperson for Global Strike Command said the agency is reconsidering its relationship with Domino's and is considering changing suppliers to Papa Murphy's Take and Bake Pizza in order to avoid the problem of blast doors. We did it. We got through the article.
Right. Well, I guess
it only took 50 minutes and 5 interruptions from Drew. We got through it.
Yes. Would you agree, though, that article proves that there's no way 9/11 was an inside job?
For the sake of...
no, give your honest opinion. Give your honest opinion. I won't even delve on it. We'll give your opinion, my opinion.
I don't know. I mean, there's always rumors that, FBI is kind of shady.
Okay, so you think the FBI did all that stuff, but they kind of just like dropped the gun when it came to Domino's Pizza and nuclear weapons?
No, I think that's just...
You think it's far-fetched?
I think it's just bad protocol.
So what you're saying is, do you think it might be far-fetched to think that the same government that does this could also create and establish the most elaborate foolproof plan of all time? Do you think that maybe that's kind of a reach?
Are you becoming a conspiracy theorist now?
No, I'm the opposite of a conspiracy theorist. I'm a skeptic. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Skeptics?
Yeah, they question. I'm skeptical about it. It's like, what about this? And then they present their conspiracy theory.
There's no conspiracy theory. That's not what a skeptic does. A skeptic is someone who applies logic and reason to everything they apply in their life. But so being a skeptic, so there's 2. I read a whole book about skepticism. All right, so I'm kind of an expert now. I read one whole book about it. I know what I'm talking about now. So there's 2 elaborate, all right. So the idea of skepticism is not a person. A lot of people think they're cynical or something like that. It's an idea to approach beliefs. So, number one, there's two types of errors that people make in thinking. Number one, accepting a falsehood. Number two, denying a truth. That's it. Don't ever do one of those two things. Don't ever accept a falsehood. Don't deny a truth. And skeptics are big on that. And there's like all the, I mean, we don't have a lot of time. I'll probably get more on the skeptic thing, but there's like a bunch of degrees of that. Like, just because something's unexplainable doesn't mean it's unexplicable. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So, like, let's say an activity happens or a problem has occurred. That doesn't mean the unexplicable, right? So if I'm sitting here right now and the glass that's up there falls off my table for no reason. It's standing right there. Nothing's touching it, but it just falls off. I could not tell you why that happened, correct?
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that it's unexplicable, and I have to jump to the conclusion that, well, clearly it was a ghost. Clearly the dead exist outside the realm of the living, and a ghost exists, because that's jumping to the unexplicable. Just because I can't explain something doesn't mean they're unexplicable.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, just because something in these next episode we'll get big into skepticism. I think we need to do an episode about skepticism. But the other big one is, just because if something has validity, it's up to the people to disprove validity versus us having to disprove your ridiculous response. Does that make sense? So if there's like, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Let's say,
touch it next time.
Think of no. Let's give one example of this. Think of something that's generally accepted by everybody, but there's somebody. Oh, the Holocaust. No, I know.
We're gonna close with this more bugs.
Well, because there's people who deny the Holocaust, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's enough proof, enough validity to show that the Holocaust exists. Yet there are arguments against, like with Holocaust deniers, that, you know, pick away at stuff, but it's not the job of the people that are already validated to prove what already exists. It's your job to prove what you believe exists. Does that make sense? Like, if something's genuinely accepted, that's what a skeptic is. Like, okay, it's generally accepted that the Holocaust exists because of historical evidence, photographic proof, stuff like that. So if someone says the Holocaust doesn't exist and tells you to prove it, it goes, well, I don't have to prove it. You have to prove it.
Yeah.
Because it's a ridiculous idea to prove it. And like saying disprove things, like, well, disprove that the Holocaust didn't not happen. And it's like, well, I also can't disprove that Santa Claus exists. So that's a ridiculous statement. Like, if you honestly, Evan, you go, disprove Santa Claus exists. I have no way of doing that. I legit.
You have a photo of
isn't that insane?
At the mall when you were a kid?
I know, but really, if you think about it, if someone told you, show me proof that Santa Claus doesn't exist right now, I can't really do that. Because he's a magical human being in sense of I can't prove it. It's on the job of people who believe in Santa Claus to prove he exists, not my job to prove he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You can talk more. Wait, last one. No, last one before we go. We'll do plugs. So I read. I'm sorry, I read. So the other thing is that anecdotes doesn't equal evidence. Does that make sense?
Stories.
Well, yeah, a story.
That's what anecdote is.
Yeah. So one anecdote is like as qualifiable evidence is about as reliable as 10 anecdotes are as qualifiable as 100, because they're coming from human storytellers that are fallible and make mistakes. Imagine if I told you, well, you know why evolution exists? And then I gave you no scientific reasoning or anything, but I said, well, I had a friend one time and he saw a monkey turn into a man. And that was my reasoning for why evolution existed. Would you believe me, Evan?
Yeah.
Because of that story?
Yeah.
Well, you're really fucking up this bit by saying yeah.
Well, I was supposed to say no. I'm not
Yeah,
supposed to give my honest opinion.
If I told you that the reason evolution exists is because my friend saw a monkey turn into a man, would you believe that
Well, people
story?
believe stories.
Would you believe that?
Why would you be lying to
Would you
people?
believe that story?
Yes, I would. I would believe that my friend would be telling me an honest story, not just making up some stuff.
You're a fucking idiot. I honestly don't understand why you're mugged, because I wouldn't believe that story, and I wouldn't believe it if 10 people said it, and I wouldn't believe it if 100 people said it, because it's ridiculous.
Now, if 1,000 people said it, now
no,
you have
still
something to consider.
still wouldn't believe it. I would only believe that story that you saw a monkey transform and mutate into a man, unless you had fucking evidence, like physical proof. I'd almost have to see it before I'd ever believe something like that.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's been the podcast. Yeah, we went over.
We went over by like 10
next one's gonna be the skepticism podcast. I'm gonna talk all about how most people are stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll just ramble about that.
I will say that. I will say I don't think most people are stupid. I think most people are just mistaken with their ability to create thoughts from situations. Because I honestly think a lot of the people that believe dumb things are smarter than me. They've just had an error in thinking. Is that fair? Like, honestly, Evan, I think you're smarter than me. I just think you have an error in thinking when you believe in God.
All right.
I think you're a smarter person. All right. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you smash the like button and crush the subscribe button, dude. Leave a comment. Tell me, what do you feel? Do you think ghosts exist, or are you an intelligent human being? Do you think Bigfoot walks among us, or are you a reasonable person that doesn't believe in lies? Do you believe in God, or do you believe in science? Tell me now.
Atheism joke.
Do you believe that the Earth is flat, or I don't know? Have you not had a hammer taken to your head? That is what I would say. Are you a Holocaust denier, or are you just a normal human being who's not fucking retarded? Make sure you leave a comment and tell me which one of those. Okay, I think that's a pretty good reason to call someone retarded. I think calling a Holocaust denier retarded is pretty solid. I'm not. People don't like the word,
Drew. People do not like the word, no matter what context you use.
I don't care. I'm not questioning my morality and calling Holocaust deniers retarded. I stand by that. It is confusing for people, though, right? Do they defend Holocaust deniers, or do they fight against me using the word retarded? It's a real moral dilemma. It's honestly amazing. I think I've set people in the biggest moral dilemma you could possibly have. They go, God damn it. Do I really want to defend Holocaust deniers, or do I want to attack someone saying the word retarded? What do I feel more passionate about?
Yeah.
All right. If you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure you hit the follow button, download all the episodes. If you're listening to this on Stitcher, make sure you hit the follow button, download all our episodes. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you give us a 5-star rating, a little bit of a review, and make sure you share the podcast, guys. Share it. If you're not going to share it on your social media, share it by word of mouth. It really fucking helps out the podcast. Our numbers are down, but we have dedicated listeners. If you're in Taiwan right now, sup Taiwan. Taiwan's been loving us, dude. I think it's because of that one episode I talked shit about China, and they all found out about it. We're pulling numbers in Taiwan right now. Taiwan. Check it, dude. We recognize you as an independent state from China. We're not fucking John Cena who denies your existence. I recognize you. I know technically you're a province of China, but that's not against your wishes, and I know you want to be free. I recognize Taiwan. Fuck the Chinese government. Hell yeah, Taiwan. But also stop Asian hate. I hate the Chinese government. I don't hate Chinese people. Chinese people kick ass. Chinese government, go fuck yourself. Stop Asian hate. It's a very confusing message. It goes a lot of places.
Yeah, you say.
But I think I was right in everything I said, so I'm not upset about it.
I guess.
I had a lot of things. I said I'm pro Taiwan being its independent state. Fuck the Chinese government. Chinese people, though, kick ass, keep fighting the good fight, stop Asian hate. I think I hit all the fucking bubbles of every right thing you should say.
Yeah.
Besides that, Evan, do your own plugs. Oh, wait. If you want to email us, you can email us at ineptpit@gmail.com. You can book us for a fucking live stand-up, or you can book us for a live podcast, or you can book us for both. Otherwise, if you have any questions or concerns, you can do that. Also, like us on Facebook at Inept Pit. We're going to post updates of new episodes on there, as well as follow us on Twitter at Inept Pit. We have not been using the page, but do it anyways. Now, Evan, do your plugs.
You can follow me on Twitter at Salsa Evan and also on Instagram, Salsa Evan.
Cool. We went way over on this one, but I don't care. It's fine. I was passionate about this one.
Yeah.
I had a lot to get off my chest. You feel good?
I'm fine. Do you feel fine?
No, I'm going to probably punch something after this. I'm kidding. I'm fine.
All right. See everyone next week.
Peace.